One of the key ingredients to a successful building experience here in Kayenta is understanding your lot and what its unique considerations may be. So let's get started. The first thing I wanted to know was, what does a prospective buyer need to know about purchasing a lot here in Kayenta?
When people are selecting a lot, some people like the idea of being up closer to the mountain. Others like the idea of being a little further away where they get a more panoramic view. But I think that the things that they really need to focus on is how they're going to use the property more than where the lot location is. There isn't a bad lot in Kayenta. What they need to do is consider the slope of the lot, so that if they want a house that has no steps in it, they're going to get a relatively flat lot. Don't try to build a house on the side of the hill that's going to have no steps in it. They need to select a lot that gives them their orientations that they enjoy. However they use the house, they should be thinking about that. If they like to live outdoors a lot, if they want a pool, they need to think about where the pool's going to be in relationship to the home and how the privacy for that pool is created and so forth. In Kayenta, we are unique in that we are not just padding off lots and then putting a typical footprint, one of 3 houses on each lot, where orientation isn't taken into consideration. In every site at Kayenta, we have looked at the site trying to find out where the best place is to place that house to get the maximum views and fit the site as well as possible.
Well, I wanted to dig a little deeper, pardon the pun, so I asked for a little more info about how the topography of the lot affects the actual design process.
Other than drainage considerations that they always want to take a look at and how the lot is going to be accessed, I think the most important thing for people to understand is the slope of the lot that they are considering buying. Kayenta is a site that is an alluvial slope that is anywhere from 3 to 6% gradient. That means 3 feet in 100. And you have to do some grading or hewing in to fit a house on that lot. Where you have the higher gradients, or the 4, 5, and 6% gradients, it becomes more difficult to put a one-level house with no steps on that particular site. So those who are interested in having that one level should be looking at the flatter lots, the lower gradients in terms of slope.
Something I'd heard Terry say is that lots in Kayenta are not leveled, but that instead homes are hewn into the lot. I asked Terry to tell us more about that process and why he'd chosen that approach here in Kayenta.
I use the term hewn in as kind of cut in or sculpted into the site. Building the building, and instead of building it on the site, building it of the site.
Now, curious me, I wanted to know what one should pay attention to in selecting a lot in Kayenta. For these answers, I turned to Terry Martin and to Kayenta's real estate broker, Douglas Caputo, to give me the lowdown. Wow, so here we are on a building site, but is this a good building site? Is this a good lot to build a house?
Well, Leila, there are no bad lots in Kayenta. What I have to ask you is, how do you feel about the lot? Tell me some of the things as you look around, what you like about the lot.
Well, I love the green mountains that way. That is just $1 million view. There's nothing I don't like about the lot, so
exactly.
I guess.
So when I get a reaction like that, I know this is a potential lot. So we need to address certain aspects of your home that you'll go over with your designer, the architect. For example,
like the internal aspects of the house.
Do you want a home on one level, or do you want a home with several steps? Different lots really call for certain types of architecture. So if you want a one-level home, there may be a lot that's better for you than another lot. So one of the things I'm going to ask you to do is just get down on your haunches and take a look at what your perspective is going to be, because this is more than likely going to be what you see when you're in the main room of your home. The landscape rises, the foliage obscures streets, cars, lands, even architecture. And what we're left with is relatively unobscured views, beautiful views.
Every lot is designed with a specific placement of the house in mind. How we design the lots is we effectively place building sites on a site, and then we build the lot lines around that placement. The idea is that placement is important in the fact that what we try to do is give a lot of separation between each house. A very, very unique situation here at Kayenta is that we often get over 100 feet of distance from one house to the other, or over 200 feet of distance from the center of one house to the other. One of the ways that I look at the development is, instead of just gridding out the site for the maximum number of lots, we carefully look over the site and we try to find building sites in a given area. And then we divide the lots so that they optimize the building sites for view and just for massing into the entire Kayenta complex.
In review, we learned that in selecting a lot, one should consider how the property will be used. Factors in this regard include the slope of the lot, orientation to views, and aspects like outdoor living, swimming pools, and privacy. We also heard that each lot is a unique building location, and each home a custom home. Regarding the placement of homes, as part of the creation of the subdivision, lots were laid out by the developer with the ultimate placement of the home in mind. Lot lines were then created around that placement to maximize views, provide ample distance between homes, and to ensure that their massing works well within the overall Kayenta concept. Another consideration to remember is the topography of the lot. One should explore drainage considerations and how the lot will be accessed. Most importantly, one should pay particular attention to the slope of the lot. Kayenta is on an alluvial slope with a 3 to 6% gradient. Steeper gradients are more likely to require steps. Therefore, choose a flatter lot if you want to avoid stairs. We also discussed that in Kayenta, homes are hewn in or sculpted into the lot as opposed to just leveling a lot and creating a flat pad upon which to build a home. This process of hewing in allows the house to be of the site, not on the site. Coming up, we'll explore Kayenta exterior design concepts in order to better understand the flat roof design approach, the wisdom behind quieter exterior design, and the palette of colors used on Kayenta's homes.